Hello, Dihessa here. Okay, so in this video, I am sharing with you my quick energetic practices that I do when I am on travel so that I can keep myself connected to that part of my brain that is creative, that is resilient, so that I can still be showing up for myself, right? And also for my vision, even when it feels like the world is crazy around me. The reason why I felt inspired to create this video is because the past couple of weeks or so have been quite insane in my life. Not only have they been emotionally really emotionally intense, but also like the past I'll say even 7 days. In the past 7 days, I have been in 3 different time zones, right? And I've been in spaces where my attention has been outwardly, which means that my focus wasn't a lot on just me. My focus was outward, like outside, which means that I've been draining a lot of energy, right? Not only through the travels, I literally had like a 28-hour travel back to like my home country. It took me 28 hours to get there. This is insane. It usually doesn't take that long, but long story short. And right now, as I'm recording this video, I'm actually in France. I'm recording from my hotel room in Paris right now. And it has been insane, right? Needless to say, when focus is outside, we drain a lot energy a lot, which means that we are not giving ourselves a lot of energy. In addition to that, a lot of times when emotions are high, it really also affects our bodies. It really also affects I love that expression that says when emotions are high, intelligence is low, right? And so for me, like, it's not that we don't have emotions, it's not that we don't go through these things. It's more about when we do go through these things, how do we recover? How do we come back to ourselves? How do we come back to like our power, so that we can really still focus on our vision, the vision in our heart, and keep creating like what it feels like, what we feel called for in our lives and also in our businesses, right? And the true reason why I felt inspired to create this video, you will see maybe the noise, there might be noise around me. The lighting is not too optimum here, but that's okay, because this morning I woke up after everything that has happened. Like, really, it's been intense. And I woke up this morning with like a ton of inflammation in my gut area. I could feel so much inflammation, like in my gut, and also in my my solar plexus area, in my stomach. Like, literally I could touch and I'll be like, ouch, right? What was happening is that my food was really not digesting very well, and I could literally feel that there was a food kind of like stuck in there, right? What that really means, right? A lot of the times we don't think about this, but like, because I've been doing this work for a while now, because I know the principles, like how energy works in our body, I understand. Like, I literally understand that a lot of the times when our attention, our focus is outside a lot, what that really can create is tightness in our gut, right? Tightness in our gut, really, what does it mean? It means that we can't really breathe deeply. And when we can't really breathe deeply, what it really does is that it really limits access to our intelligence, if you want to call it that. It really limits access to clarity of our mind. It really limits access to our power, right? So if you think about it, whenever you've had like maybe tight solar plexus, or tightness in your gut, or like even like the times when you've had like constipation, for example, you can find yourself like second guessing yourself a lot. You can find yourself in your mind a lot. You can find yourself very easily emotional. You can find like all these things, right? And so I woke up like that this morning, and obviously, like, because I've had such an intense week, right, intense couple of weeks, and because I actually haven't even been teaching my classes, my team has been teaching classes since I've been gone. So I haven't really paid attention to myself. I haven't really given myself a ton of energy. I haven't really catered to my gut, and really like like accumulating energy. I haven't done any of that, right? And this morning my body literally reacted. My body is like, yes, you need to pay attention to me, right? So in this video, what I want to share with you really is that like I'm in an environment which is not my familiar environment. I don't have like a yoga mat where I'll do all these practices that I'll usually do, but like I can improvise, right? I could improvise, which is something that I did today. I literally just improvised, right? Because why? Because like all you really need is this body and your will to do so, and your will to reconnect yourself, and your will to recover your energy, right? And which is what I had, right? And so this morning when I woke up, literally, right, like in this particular instance, I want to share with you what I did, right? So once I realized and I noticed that my gut was kind of cold, and my gut was like, I could feel the inflammation in my gut, which meant I didn't really have access to, like, literally, like my power, like, right? Like at the very least, I had limited access to the power within. And when I'm talking about that, it's like the courage to show up, the like, even like you can even think about it from the perspective of like personal power. Like it felt like weaker. I felt a little bit weaker, right? And I was like, no, I'm not going to have any of this. But because I know the principles, I knew that first of all, the reason why my gut was like that is because of, right, maybe like the past week or so I wasn't eating like the way that I usually eat. Even when I think about it now, there was no fruits. There hasn't been any fruits in my diet for the past, I don't know, right, few days, right? Of course, for me personally, fruit helps me with digestion. Yes, I eat vegetables and all these things, and fruit is one thing that really helps with digestion. And I haven't really had enough water, if I'm being honest with you, right? And so like all these things that I do, and including like moving my gut and stuff like that, and even moving my body to keep my body warm and to keep my gut warm, all of that, none of that has really happened in the past few days. So the very first thing I did when I realized what was happening is I wanted to make my gut warm, right? It's actually very simple, right? It's like a principle that I share all the time. Like I've shared this, like everybody in Unity know the basic principle of this basic principle. It's about like optimum energetic condition in your body is to have really warm low abdomen and really cool head. Warm low abdomen when you're low, like that expression, like the person is gutsy, right? Like, or the person like hot, like a hot gut, like that expression. You want to have your low abdomen warm, right? What was happening for me was actually the complete opposite, right? My gut was cold. And because my gut was cold, the very first thing that I did this morning was I actually heated up some hot water, and then like obviously like I can't drink boiled water, but I mixed it up with cool water. But I wanted it to be hot enough so that I can start moving the things in my gut, right? That's the very first thing that I did. And the second thing is I started tapping I spent so much time this morning tapping my lower abdomen tapping. Why? Because it also helps heat up the gut, right? It also not only helps to heat up the gut, but it also helps bring my mind back to my body. Bring my mind back to my body. Bring my mind back to my body. It forces the mind. The mind is like a child. The mind always goes where there's the most stimulation, right? My mind this past few days has been out, focus out, not focus in, right? Simply by tapping my lower abdomen, all like over and over again, it forced my mind to come back to my body, to force my mind to come back inward, force my mind to give me, because where your mind goes, energy flows, right? That means that I force myself to give myself energy and to refuel myself with energy, right? So those are the first two things that I did this morning. And as I continue, it's so interesting how like I felt so out of it, and as I continued to go deeper and deeper, naturally my mind was calming down. Naturally I felt like I was coming back to myself. Naturally I was feeling like, okay, I'm regaining my power, and before I knew it, I actually literally this might be a little bit too much information for you, went to the bathroom. Everything that was stuck in my gut like naturally moved, and I felt like finally my mind started getting clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer, right? And so like as I'm talking about this, right, it may sound like Dihessa, like what are all these things? It's about the body, it's about the mind, it's also even about our emotions, right? Like I know this for a fact, when your solar plexus is like, even when we talk about things like depression and anxiety, and which I have shared so many times before, like I lived my whole entire life like really with anxious feelings. I can remember being like a very young, less than 10 years old, when I had the anxiety. I had that tendency of anxiety inside of me, and I actually, for the longest time, I thought it was a norm until the day I didn't feel anxious anymore. Like, I had a taste of what it felt like not to have anxiety. I was like, oh my God, this actually exists. It's actually possible. Like the other way is not the norm, right? And you can really trace that back to your solar plexus, to your gut. Like the more your gut is tight, the less you can breathe deeply, the more anxious tendency you will have. Like I wish more people had access to this. I wish more people really, like people, when I get to, like, it's simple, like it's so simple if you just practice it, right? If you don't believe it, if you don't believe that what I'm saying is, like all you have to do is to really practice it. Like I'm so moved just sharing this. All you have to do is take a chance. If you have never practiced it, take a chance and at least try doing low abdomen tapping. And the other thing that I want to share with you is everybody who's in Unity, we have like a special tool. Like I have a special tool, and then I share like something that I call belly button healing exercise. And when I'm traveling, I don't necessarily bring my tool with me, but like because I am in a hotel room, there is a remote control, which is something that, and I'll show you like the whole practice in a minute. All I had to do is literally use this remote control on my belly button and also on my stomach, and to move my gut, and then before I knew it, it was moving. Before I knew, my mind was becoming clearer. Before I knew it, I felt like, even the mere fact that I'm creating this video right now, like I couldn't have created this video even yesterday because I was so out of it, right? And a lot of the times, like if you want to even talk about the fact that like it's related to your solar plexus, when my solar plexus was like blocked all the time, I wouldn't follow through with my actions, right? If you find yourself, right, and like if you find yourself procrastinating all the time, you can trace this back to your, like, it's so insane to me how powerful it is, right? And this is why for me, my energetic practice is so important. Whenever I find myself being sluggish, right? Whenever I find myself, like doubting myself, whenever I find myself, what that really means is that somewhere, somehow, there's something that has created a disconnect between me and that powerful part of who I am, which you can call your soul, you can call the divine in you, whatever it is that you call it, right? Because we always have access to that, right? It's always available to us, right? It's our job to decide, I want to access it, or I don't want to access it, or you don't know what I mean? It's like through your body, through your energetic system, we have access, right? But we have to make sure that our energetic system is really kind of like it's like its condition is helping us do that, as opposed to the opposite, right? So before I even go into like doing our practice today, really sharing the whole practice, exactly the thing that I did this morning to recover and to come back to myself. I also want to share that, like, even these energetic practices that I'm sharing, yes, like you can look at it from the perspective of your energetic system, but you can, like, most definitely look at it from the perspective of your brain, right? Which I absolutely love this. Why? Because like at the end of the day, it's all about our brain. Right? Even when we're talking about creation, creativity, ability to really use your brain for, like, our brain is like supposed, like I saw this thing one time with like a movie that I absolutely love, a documentary that says like your brain is supposed to be like a transformer. Our brain is supposed to, like, you're supposed to give it an input and it's supposed to give you the output that you are asking it to give to you. But why does it not do that? Because our brain has parts, right? It can come into forms of like our emotions, our preconceptions, our like preconceived ideas, right? The things that we hold on to so much, right? Really, all these energetic practices that I share, right? Whether you are in Unity or even like on this channel, like the whole purpose of that is to, like, how do I say this, to like to kind of like refresh the brain and to make the brain also flexible, so that we have the ability to, like, it's like when we hold on to something so tight, it's hard to let go. But if we make our brain flexible, then it's easier. It's easier to just let go of a preconceived idea and then choose another idea, choose another like another thing that actually is serving our vision and serving. I hope this all makes sense, right? Another way you can also look at it, right? Even when we look at the principles of energetics, for example, right? I know that, for example, when we are doing this work, like somebody who's of service to others, right? If we only thinking about me, it's actually really hard to create growth from that perspective, right? If we're thinking about us as a kind of like, right, like even in our brain, you can look at it from the perspective of like for example, like the neocortex, right? If you can divine, right, which is something I don't really talk about this a lot, like in public or like on my public channels like this. Usually we go deep with this in Unity, but like this time around, I feel very inspired to go to talk about this, right? So when we are thinking about like individuality, for example, yes, I am an individual. Yes, there are part of me that has to think about me and like who I am and all of that, right? But a lot of times, if I'm showing up, right, and all I think about is me, what's the gain for me, blah blah blah, it is actually making myself, like, it makes it harder, right? If you see what I mean, for you to actually grow, create that growth in your business, in my humble opinion, right? This is just my humble opinion. Like in our brain, like if you think about your neocortex, for example, the thinking brain, that is the individual brain. Like when you are fully just in your neocortex, if you are fully just in your thinking brain, the only thing that really happens there, and again, this is not to vilify one part of your brain or another, as not what we're doing here, but the thing that happens, like the consciousness, let's think about it from that perspective. The consciousness in the neocortex brain is me consciousness, me, right? So a lot of us like only stay there in our neocortex area, but there's other layers of our brain, right? Another layer of the brain is the limbic system, for example, the emotional brain. The emotional brain is more like group consciousness. Group consciousness meaning, oh, I'm black and so I relate with black people. Oh, I'm a woman so I relate more with women. Oh, I am Jewish, which I'm not, but I'm Jewish, or I'm Catholic, or I'm Muslim, or I'm Buddhist, and so I only relate to those group of people. What else? Like that, right? Like it's like, like related to, right? And that makes sense because again, it really like it's the emotional brain, it's the limbic system, right? But beyond that, there's another consciousness which is in the brainstem part of the brain, which is really, you can call that universal consciousness, right? A lot of the times when I actually share in this on this channel, even when when we do this and then we really feel energy, what it's really doing, it's really quieting down. It really is quieting down the mind chatter, right? And then as you continue to go, what happens is that then you go through the layer of emotion, but ultimately what happens is that you really step into the brainstem part of your brain. And then once you step in there, it's more like universal consciousness, right? Ideally, what we want is to integrate all these 3 layers of the brain, knowing that yes, I am the Dihessa, the individual, but I'm part of for me, I look at it from the perspective of human, a human group. If I want to group myself with people, like a human, right? And that it's even it's beyond that, right? And it's beyond that. Don't get me wrong, there are times where I'm literally just stuck in my neocortex area, right? Those are the times where literally, a lot of the times when we're like that, that's when your gut can become easily tired, because you're thinking brain. Right? So the reason why I'm going deeper, I'm talking about these things, is because at the very least, I want us to understand the reasons why we do the things that we do here, right? The reason why I use this so much in growing my business, right? I use this so much in the growth of my business. Why? Because that gives me power. Yes, I even when it comes to growth, it's where you put your focus, where you put your energy, creation happens. But you have to even have that energy to put it towards something. You have to even have that focus to put that focus on your goals and your vision, right? But if your energy doesn't allow it to, if your gut is tight, a lot of the times if your gut is tight, you're very distracted. It's you very much don't have a lot of focus, which was my state for the longest time, right? You can buy all the courses you want, if you can buy all the programs you want, you can learn all the strategies you want, right? If you don't have the focus to implement it, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens, right? Another way you can also look at this is really, it's even when we're talking about consciousness, right? We have me consciousness, but there's another consciousness which is very close to, almost I talked about it earlier, universal consciousness. I feel the closer we get to that, the more power we actually gain, right? And to me, how that really happens is by increasing your energy, by paying attention to your energy, by really first of all giving yourself energy and growing your energy. For me, growth of consciousness is all about growth of energy, right? So I hope this makes sense. So with that said, I am going to share with you just a little bit of tapping, and also the belly button healing exercise, the exact practice that I did today, so that I could come back to myself. And then I did a little bit of breathing to come back to myself. All right, so let's start with, I hope that again I'm in my bed here. Let me see if I can tilt a little bit, right? Okay, there you go. Make a fist, and then with this side of your fist, first start with your lower abdomen. And as you tap your lower abdomen, move your head side to side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Relax, relax. continue to tap your lower abdomen, your eye gaze towards your lower belly. Feel your body starting to relax. Your mind starts to quiet down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now tap your belly button. Tap your belly button. Relax, relax. Tap your belly button. Now tap your solar plexus. Now tap the rest of your body. Tap your arm. As you tap your body, the whole point here is to keep your focus on the point where you're tapping. Your arm, feel your wrist. Keep your mind and your focus where you're tapping. Your brain, your thighs, your leg, all the way to your feet. And so you can do the tapping for as long as you want. The longer you do it, the more effective it is. Here I'm kind of giving you a shorter version of it. You can tap your chest. Give yourself some love. Give yourself some energy. In this video today, we're not going to do any affirmations. We're simply going to give focus to giving ourselves some energy. Just simply by feeling and focusing on the point where you're tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, one of my favorite things ever when it comes to having tightness in your gut and releasing that tightness in the gut is through belly button healing exercise, right? So when I do Golden Aura 5-Day Challenge, this is insane how, like, when people first discover this, they literally, like, people who have been procrastinating on things for years or for months, literally start taking action on this. And like things that they were like they were, you know, they had fears around, they start moving. Like, literally, that's how powerful it is, right? That's how powerful this belly button healing exercise is. So this morning, how I did this is I literally just, if you don't have anything, you can use your fingers, locate your belly button and just press in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and like that. So, or if you have remote control, you can literally use it. This is a remote control from my hotel room. Literally, this is what I did this morning, okay? So part of it, I was lying in bed, like lying down, and then part of it, I was just literally sitting like this. And as I was moving in and out, this alone also can move your gut, right? Move, like, you know, digestion in your gut, right? So in and out, 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 in and out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then you can press and hold. And again, you can do this for as long as you want. I did it for quite a few minutes earlier this morning. And then the other thing I did is I did the same thing, but then I pushed on my stomach, because I knew that's, like that was an issue. Usually when you have your solar plexus that is acting up, or like kind of like, I want to use the word blocked, but like people take it to a whole different thing when I say that, or when somebody says, so like, I don't like to use the word blocked, but like when it's irritated, how about we put it that way, like when your solar plexus is irritated, especially when I do energetic blueprints sessions for people. It's always so fascinating when like, oh my god, like this makes sense, oh my god, yeah, it explains everything. When I do energetic blueprint sessions for people, what I do is really like, I perceive behind the five senses, and I perceive the energetic condition of each energy centers, right? And a lot of the times the people who have issues, or like, it's like, again, if their solar plexus is irritated, a lot of the times it either has something to do with their stomach or their liver, right? Because the two organs that are connected to your solar plexus are your stomach and your liver. And so it makes total sense that when you have indigestions, when you're having things like constipation, that your solar plexus, which is what I had yesterday overnight up to this morning, then it makes total sense that your solar plexus is irritated, right? So what I did this morning, literally, I used this, my remote control, and then I pressed on my stomach, right? In case you don't know where your stomach is on your left side, here. And so literally, I pressed on it, in and out, 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 in and out. And before I knew it, I was running to the bathroom, like emptying my, emptying whatever needed to be emptied. And all of a sudden, my mind became clearer. All of a sudden, I felt like, oh my God, I'm starting to come back to myself, right? And so, after you do that, another thing you can do is simply rub your hands together and then feel energy between your hands. This practice, its whole purpose is to quiet your mind, is to stop thinking, stop the thinking, stop the mind chatter. Because when you start feeling the energy between your hands, first of all, it's now no longer your five senses, it's you're activating your sixth sense. And it really kind of quiets down the mind chatter, so that you can feel what? The power within you, the divine within you. Open and close. Slowly return, then bring both hands on your chest first, then breathe in, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe in, hold, then breathe out, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe out, hold, again breathe in, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe in, hold, then breathe out, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe out, hold. Again, breathe in, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe in, hold. And breathe out, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe out, hold. Now bring your hands, this time on your solar plexus area. Do the same thing. Breathe in, breathe in, and breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Last time, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Now bring your hands on your lower belly. Breathe in. All of your focus is on your lower belly. Feel your belly, lower belly expanding. With each breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, hold, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Again, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, hold, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, hold. Last time, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, hold. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, hold. Alright, so that's it for this video. I just really felt inspired to share this with you. It was really helpful to me today. If I hadn't done that, I'll probably be very sluggish. I'll probably have will be carrying myself around, probably still be kind of like heady, in my mind, like when that happens, second guessing yourself and not trusting yourself and all the other things, right? And whenever I feel like that, I know what to do. I literally know, oh, okay, there's something up, there's something going on, right? Because it's all about the energetic constitution in your body, right? Whenever I feel like I'm doubting myself or being jealous of people or comparing myself to others, or it's because there's that disconnect, right? And my only job at that moment is to just reconnect, and that is power. That is so powerful. And from that space, creation is so much easier. Why? Because you have the power to focus, you have the power to really, it's like a trust. You have the power, like literally you have the power to make moves, right? To follow through with your actions, and so much more. These are things that we don't often talk about, but these are actually the reasons why some people can take the exact same courses and not create results, and some people, right? And I'm not saying you have to do it my way. I'm saying that some way, somehow, it has to be done, right? Some way, somehow, it has to be done. Otherwise, it's almost like we're going around, like I love that expression that says, like we like beggars sitting on a pot of gold. Like you're sitting on a pot of gold, you really have every single one of us, doesn't matter what our circumstances are. We are literally, because we are human beings, and because we have a brain, and because we have this constitution, because all of us came with this energetic system, all of us came with this brain, all of us came with this body, which means every single one of us, regardless of what we were dealt with at our birth, has this power within themselves, right? But if you don't know how to utilize it, it's really quite a shame, right? Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.